of the first session in which I think I actually understand the game that I'm playing. When I'm say play, I mean the one that I'm designing. I actually think I finally understand it, and I sent around those sheets to to kind of summarize where I think we're at. Quick review. From now on, we just pick up with where we left off. So that means somebody was in a scene, and when they're done, they go to the next person and they say, "What are you doing?" And that person says what they're doing and says what they're doing until they finally name an ability that they're using. Then we'll move into the contest stuff. And I wrote that out finally in the little document. What's kind of important is that, and I was looking at what we were doing in the episodes. What's kind of important is that this is irresponsible play. You do not have to, consolidate things, make things make sense. You don't have to, tie things together. You don't have to drive toward, what you think we're supposed to go. Well, I can't do that because, then that would mean this gets left out in the cold. I guess I have to follow up on that. If this is happening over there, I guess I better do something to develop that. No, you don't have to. This is completely irresponsible. The comic book author and or artist is on drugs and doesn't really feel like making it all make sense today, and you don't have to either. And so the fun part is to have it work out that it somehow does, and the less we worry about it, the better. That's my hope anyway. So anyway, welcome back. Now, Ahil wasn't here last time, and that is okay. And it's kind of fun, actually. And to recap a bit, the character who's not here tonight, the Silurian, or Earth's first mind, is, for lack of a better word, fucking around in the 22nd century. Now, of course, he prevented the extinction of the human species there, but,
No biggie.
Yeah, no biggie, exactly. Whereas our other two characters have actually met in a bar with diamonds.
Oh,
Right. And so it was actually Morgan. I think you were actually presenting to... Actually, was it Gordon? Or Morgan? No, Morgan. I think you were actually presenting to... Oh, God, it's a little confusing.
I think I was presenting to Alex.
Right. I think so, too. I was just wondering whether Gordon somehow were involved. It's supposed to be really simple. Who's ever up next asks some character or some other player, the next player. Wait. Who's ever just been playing asks the next player, "What are you doing?" They say so. And whether that means the characters are getting together or not is completely up to the people playing. Right? So that's a completely open variable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of funny. I mean, whether the scene continues, whether the characters are present or absent, or whether there's a time skip or not, or whatever, is just completely free and open. So in a lot of ways, it's it's completely different from saying, "Okay, now frame a scene." You know what I mean? It's completely different from that. We talked a lot about that on Monday in the lab to try and help me work out what I thought, and now I know. So we'll continue. We were actually in the middle of this. We hadn't reached a contest yet. So you guys are role-playing at this point, and Diamonds is there, so that means I'm role-playing. So since we were meeting in a bar of Zebediah's choosing, I would have to ask, Alex, what is this place like? What kind of bar have we chosen?
I think it's full of mirrors, lights. It's quiet at the moment because we decided to meet during the day. I'm actually drinking coffee. But yeah, there's kind of refracted light kind of everywhere, slowly moving around.
Okay.
Right. You're just starting right in with that stuff, are we? Okay. Kicking in a little faster than I anticipated. So good. You're in here now. I presume you're there. I mean, you already told me you're there with diamonds, and then also I'm kind of curious as to how we didn't say this before, but Morgan, you had said that your character, Professor
Azimuth.
Right, well, Azimuth, but yeah, but you're walking around like a guy right now. You're not the entity known as Azimuth creeping through the dream world. You're a guy who got on a plane, if I recall correctly. What was that?
Calvin Wu.
That's right, Calvin Wu. Yes. So Calvin Wu has gone through the wonderful experience that is LAX airport, and has now made their way through the sprawl. They would say urban sprawl, but that's debatable. The sprawl that is LA, and you will end up in this interesting bar. Now, when you walk in, what do you look like? That's what I need to get sort of a better visual on everybody, I think. Oh, and by the way, everybody starts with a hero point.
Right.
Okay.
One thing you missed last time on Hill is that you don't bank hero points. If you don't spend them by the end of the episode, they're lost. So if you had any, you might want to spend. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So what does Calvin Wu look? Yeah.
Mid-20s. I think I went with around 5'9" or something.
Mm-hmm.
Dark hair, closely trimmed, with a little swept back. Professionally dressed. It's not, a $20,000 suit or anything, but it looks respectable. It looks professional. Sort of a mid-tone grey with a bluish tinge.
Ooh.
And he's carrying a pair of glasses in his pocket.
Now, I'm trying to remember where Calvin lives when he's not dreaming. I mean, in the real world.
I don't think we specified, really.
That's kind of what I need. I'm kind of interested in where
Did
he...
you not say New York? I thought.
I didn't really specify New York. I said Brownsville, I think.
Oh, that's probably why.
Well, I'm quite happy with New York, if that works.
Okay. And does your character strike anybody as ethnically distinctive in any way?
Yes, he's half Asian.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yes, you had said that before. Okay. Excellent. All right. So you have walked in, and Zebediah is how? I mean, I'm kind of curious about what Zebediah looks like.
I have dirty blonde hair, and at the moment I'm wearing a pink suit with a bright gold tie. And
do you look particularly... Now, I'm just going by your various traits that you've talked about. And you can go any which way with this, because I can see it going any which way. Does your character look especially youthful? Does your character look especially aged? Does your character look, ruined by drugs and drink? Or does he look surprisingly fresh as a daisy for a person in his profession? I mean, what would you...
I think it seems hard to pin his age down.
Right.
So in that regard, he's kind of ageless, but there's definitely a cynical kind of slumped,
right,
despondent look to him.
Okay.
They're not more cynical than despondent, maybe.
Right. Well, yes, especially because the despondency has been reduced through the you-know-what.
Yes.
So, yeah. Diamond's marginal victory over Zebediah in the first episode, Ahil, resulted in certain changes in their lifestyle. reality got a little warped.
Oh, okay.
So, therefore, let's run with this. Let's go ahead and Diamonds is I have the strangest images for her. She's got ash blonde hair and is wearing she doesn't look like a Southern California trendsetter. She actually is wearing kind of I think of them as horse riding jeans. They're very functional looking and not too tight, but fit really well. Probably with some kind of blouse that looks handmade or kind of cool in some fashion like that. Somebody made this on purpose. And it doesn't have a whole lot of really display. There's no jewelry. She doesn't wear a lot of makeup or anything like that. And you might think she looks kind of young, and then you blink and look again and realize that she's at least in her mid-30s. So, there's so she's kind of, at first you think she's like this young woman out on the town in LA, and then you look again and you're like, oh wow, she's like Mom, possibly. So that's kind of my take on her. And like a lot of women in that culture, she looks a lot younger than she is what I'm saying, especially at first glance. And so the only thing that's kind of really a little off about her, or a little rock star girlfriendy, is the boots, which, if they are made from an actual animal hide, would be very offensive, because that would be, mean. Baby alligator hide or something like that, right? But on the other hand, if they're fake, they're a hell of a good fake. So who knows?
Okay.
So anyway, that's what I'm getting Diamonds in my head. That's kind of where I'm at with her. Is that all right with you, Alex? Kind of where I'm at with that? Yeah. Okay. So, she, is, looking at you, and she's at Wu, and your eyes kind of lock, and you can see that you're being, she looks just like a woman, saying, hi, nice to meet you, but she also, this look in her eyes, there's something behind, there's vistas and gulfs behind the eyes, and you instantly can tell that there could be fireworks here on a metaphysical plane. There's power in the room. And so, no slam on Zebediah, of course, plenty of power surrounds you. And matter of fact, that is kind of interesting. Let's that head of yours kind of floats there unseen by ordinary people.
Yes.
But you see it. Azimuth sees it. It's just like there.
It's the Time Warrior that it belongs to is now dead.
Right,
really.
right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just it just kind of floats around me.
That's with little gems on it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy is invisible to anyone else who would casually look.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh.
And so it's the when you come in to Zebediah, he's remembering his dreams a little better than he ordinarily does, is sort of my special effect of your presence. It's kind of like you're a little more in touch with your dreams when you're around. So the air becomes a little charged with eldritch forces just by the fact that you guys are near each other and perceiving these things. So with that, Diamonds will do a little double take at you and say, I dreamed about you.
I think I dreamed about you too, Diamonds.
Mhm.
And then I take a dime out of my pocket and I wrap it on the counter and I roll it towards her.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns into an ashtray. It turns into an ashtray as it comes down to about her position on the bar.
Ah.
And then it starts to spin on its axis, and I turn my hand, and I lift it up, and it turns into a floating globe, like a planet hanging in space.
Pretty cool.
And then, like it's going behind the dark side of a star, it's eclipsed by a shadow, and you can see a sort of nebulous face hanging in the middle of the apparent void. And I ask her if this looks familiar to her.
What ability are you using when you do this?
Probably a mixture of matter phasing and yeah, it's matter phasing. It's an illusion, but I'm transforming a physical object into something that would remind her of Chin Lao if she recognizes that entity.
Okay, I'm going to say that that what you're really doing is invoking Chin Lao more than anything else. Well, that's good. What is that ability called with Chin Lao in it? Hunted by you're
Child of Chin Lao.
you're the child of Chin Lao, right? Okay.
Yep.
So therefore, I think that the best thing to do with that is to actually use the Chin Lao ability, and the phasing is just a special effect. I mean, because you're not solving anything with the phasing. You know what I mean? You're not like accomplishing a thing by doing it. So it's not really a contest-worthy thing. Just want to know what sort of important ability that would be conflicty or contesty might be involved here.
Right.
So, Zebediah, talk and tell me when and if you think an ability might be underway, or I'll speak up like I just did.
Okay, well, I'm just sitting back pretty impressed. I kind of like the special effects. I think a slight smile plays around my face.
Okay.
Cool. Do you feel the urge that could you set this to music? What you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, this is why you get into it, right?
It's going to say. So I'm ability fishing is what I'm doing here. That's all I'm doing. I'm ability fishing. And so if you want, you can kind of roll with it, or you can say, nah, I'm not going that way. That's cool too. But if you wanted to basically turn on your composition ability, your rock starness or your musicness, is there an ability that seems about right for this?
I mean, I do have one. If I was, which is Futures Past, my progressive rock band.
Right. So okay, so those are kind of underway. Now I'm going to let you guys. I'll play Diamonds and let you guys talk as well. Diamonds is looking at this, and she looks at you and she says, "Oh yes, I do. I'm seeing it more and more clearly every day."
Well, who is this guy then?
How much do you remember from our little sojourn together in what I think was the distant future?
I remember you messing up my day.
That's not an infrequent side effect of my being around.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Start from the start and tell me how you arrived there. Do you often go day tripping in the 22nd century?
I mean, this is getting a bit personal.
And yeah, Diamond says, we're putting a lot of that behind us. I'm taking steps, she says, and there's sort of an echoey quality to that isn't in the room. I'm taking steps to ensure some peace for us. Maybe it's best to put that behind us, Mr. Wu.
Pieces on all our minds now. Exactly how much you remember about what happened there.
But what? Why is it your business?
If we're going to play 20 questions, perhaps a little quid pro quo is in order. I ask you a question, you answer it. You ask me a question, I answer it.
Okay.
What brought you to the 22nd century?
I was sightseeing.
All right, then. You have a question for me?
Yeah, who's this guy? His face.
Diamond says, Chinlao.
That's
But-
correct.
What's his deal then?
Yeah, Diamonds has no answer to that. She's kind of like staring. She's doing the kind of trying to soak it in hard look.
His deal is that he wants the extinction of every human planet of every human soul on this planet.
Yeah. I guess that's pretty bad.
Diamonds, you must know that there's been a change in your aura ever since that experience. Do you know exactly what you're capable of?
He can't do it, she says. They're mine.
What? Why don't you wait here, Diamonds? Me and Calvin were going to deal with this some guy.
All right, then. I clap Zebediah on the shoulder, and we go off to one of the side rooms, and he's and engage in a little conversation. Is there something you want to tell me, Zebediah?
Yeah, not really. Some guy wants to destroy humanity. We're going to go stop him. Great, let's go.
All right.
Okay, we finished with you haven't been able to contact your father for some time.
Uh-huh.
Though you didn't say that.
I just settle for the entity in some time. But there's a little catch. There's a pause there. So, all right, strictly out of character for a moment. You want to go try and find Chinlao and destroy him?
Yeah, that will stop me from having to think about my marriage.
Okay, then. $100 here would be
Say that again?
contest. I'm not certain what the mechanics here are supposed to be.
Well, we're not really running into a mechanic until you guys actually say something that involves a contest with something. An ability on anybody's sheet, your own or someone else's. But the issue here is that you've posed this scene to Alex. When Alex wants to use something, to do something, it's up to you to attack something on his sheet.
Well, what I think I've been trying to drive at here is that I want to know exactly how much Diamonds remembers.
Yes, but right now you guys went off into a side room, so she's unattended at the moment.
Okay.
Unless you want to...
Right. In that case, I'm going to say our best bet for tracking down Chinlao and remembers and plumb her memories and find out what she knows. And that will give us some kind of reading on his whereabouts. Or what his motives here might be, or...
You want to get into my girlfriend's head?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, Calvin, I don't know how I feel about that.
I understand that there's a certain leap of faith will be required here, but I don't know you terribly well either. And these are the circumstances that we're dealing with, and we have to make do.
We'll ask her then, but I mean, it's her choice.
All right, then. So we'll try maybe psychologist against Zebediah's Diamond's ability.
I think so, and I'm thinking about all the ways this is going to go horribly wrong. So you guys are going to go back into the main area, and Diamonds is kind of like looking at you guys amused and says, "So, cut a new record deal?"
Come on, baby.
I wouldn't dismiss the possibility offhand, but What I would like to do for the moment, Diamond, is try and put you into a hypnotic state and see if we can get you to recall exactly what Chin Lao might have said to you.
She says, yes, Chin Lao. I've been thinking of him since you showed him to me. She says, sure. She hops in and says, I've been to Esalen. Which, for those of you, Esalen is the encounter, the home of encounter therapy, a little further to the north in California, which is notable for its experimental psychological approach and ambitious methods. So, so she's basically saying, look, anything that's been done to my mind before, it's already been done. So you just go right ahead. I'm ready. It says, so, what, take off my shirt or not? Do we get underwater? And she kind of looks over at Zebediah and says, really, where'd you dig this guy up?
I've got some acid.
If you think it would help, you may proceed. I was going to suggest heading back to your apartment, but since we're less likely to be disturbed there.
No.
No? You're staying in the bar? Okay, fine. Right. If we can get Diamonds to rest back on one of the couches up against the backside of the bar then?
Sure. Now, about this point, the wait person comes over and says, can I fill up anybody's coffee? And Diamond says, go away for a minute, and he disappears.
Okay. We need to get this done as fast as possible.
Is anyone else getting Phoenix vibes out of this?
All right then.
Yes, you go right ahead and dive into her mind. I'm looking forward to this immensely.
All right. Now, so we're going to try and use psychologist, and I take out a coin again and flick it up in the air, and it spins down again and then just hangs and keeps spinning, and the lights reflect from the mirrors in the room, and the geometry of the room seems to shift.
As well it might.
The mirrors are cracking and reflecting from themselves. Diamonds is looking at all this and getting sort of dazed and confused, and the lids of her eyes flutter, and she drifts off into a sleep. Or at least that's what I'm aiming for. So, would this be a good time to roll?
Depends on what Zebediah is going to do.
Okay.
Because all these effects you're talking about the refractions and stuff like that, they're not just psychological, they're actually happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So well, I'm curious about what... Yeah, sorry, Morgan, go ahead.
Could we put that down to a minor effect of force manifestation and use psychologist for the actual plumbing of the mind?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I completely agree. No, you said you were using psychology. I'm totally with you on that one.
Okay, sure. So, Zebediah, what's your reaction to all this?
I'm not actively resisting.
Do you want to help him to some extent, or to take action on behalf of Diamonds or yourself or anything of the kind? Do you want to... I mean, really, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want.
Or, with kind of... I mean, I'm not into psycho nonsense, but I mean, I think, Diamonds obviously is. So, yeah, I think she's probably helping assist the process.
Do you want to name an ability for that?
Diamonds?
Of course. So you've got a 6 mastery, I believe, in that. Is that correct?
It would be 8.
Okay, 8 mastery. Yeah, it's gone up, I guess. So, therefore, you're going to... The first thing we're going to do is get the helping effect. So, go ahead and roll a 20-sided die, and I'm going to roll, and I've got an ability with this that I use for the helping thing. And so I have rolled, and what do you get when you roll 8 mastery? What do you get?
I got an 11.
Okay, so that means an ordinary success.
Yep.
Right. So right now we've got a success on success, and as the acting party, if we look at the little matrix that I sent you guys, now this is a situation. It's not a critical or a fumble, so we don't compare the actual rolls. It actually should say right there in the little matrix that got the shading. Do you have that? Yeah. Well, so what is marginal success on your part? Right. So so therefore you're going to give a +1 to Morgan's roll unless you want to bump it or something of the sort.
No, I don't want to bump it.
Okay. So any expression of your relationship to diamonds is fine, I would imagine. Do you have any way to narrate that out of curiosity?
Well, I mean, I think I'd smile at her because, even though I'm not into psychology, the fact that she's just pretty cool, and I do love her, the fact that she's open-minded like this, so it's just a little grin on my face. Like, yeah.
Right, got it, right? And so you maintain eye contact with her, and gorked as she's becoming, she actually winks at you as she kind of phases, right? That's so we know that you
trip, right?
yeah, exactly, right. So that's kind of giving you a little boost, Morgan. So in your psychology roll is what you're rolling now. Now, of course, you realize what I'm rolling as your what I'm going to roll is in opposition to you.
Okay.
Which is, of course, Child of Chin Lao.
Okay.
So you're rolling your psychology, and you've got whatever you've got in that. What's the score for Child of Chin Lao?
Child of Chin Lao is 2W, and
Perfect.
Psychologist is 3W. I actually bumped it up last session. Excellent.
So let's go ahead and roll. R2, you roll mine, you roll yours.
Right. I got a 10.
Mm-hmm. You've got an ordinary success, right? And I've got a 16, which is also an ordinary success. But the question now is, do you want to? Oh, by the way, psychology, that's like a person power, right?
Yes.
Child of Chin Lao is a cosmic power, right?
Yes.
Right. So, therefore, you're going to get a benefit from this. Now, we experimented with a couple of ways to do this, and I was adamant on the second technique last session. I don't even know what's on the little handout that I gave you anymore, but I'm liking the idea. I like my first idea better, and it's far more intuitive. Coming into this with an advantage gives you a hero point instead of the other way around. Remember what I was saying before about how the one who gets hammered can't use hero points? But anyway, it was all complicated. There was a whole subroutine paragraph, and I decided that any rule that takes a subroutine paragraph to explain is bad. So therefore, Morgan, you get a hero point. No more complications. Okay. Everything is fine the way it is, and that's that. Given that you are now swimming in hero points, you could spend one to get a minor victory out of this if you wanted to.
Can I spend 2 to get a total victory?
Any number of hero points.
Okay. I don't think I actually will bump by. I don't think I will spend more than 1 hero point, but I do want to spend 1 hero point because I want this victory fairly badly. Right.
So you got yourself your minor victory. Now, the Child of Chin Lao, basically, she vanishes. That's the problem. She vanishes, and it is the child of Chin. Sorry, you're the Child of Chin Lao. It is Chin Lao who is present in the room. And what does Chin Lao look like, or do you want me to do it?
Oh, I'll leave that to you, Ron. I think.
Excellent. We're talking about the most awesome Chinese dragon, except through the lens of science fiction.
Okay, then.
Yeah, and it's monstrous, right? I mean, it's like all of a sudden it's like bulking up in the room through the ceiling. Its serpentine head is like coiling down, and its face is very humanoid. Right?
That creature from the Iron Man, the book. Does the Iron Giant fight some kind of alien space dragon? I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Which book is that?
I'll look it up in a second. But anyway,
Okay.
Fantastic Alien Space Dragon.
Yeah, excellent. Yes, and so the that's what you see, but you get the minor victory, which means that you basically win. So I'm gonna, this is gonna take a while. This is actually gonna take a while, and since you got a success on the helping for Zebediah, I'm gonna say that you're able to stay in touch mentally with Diamonds, right? You're able to kind of try and anchor her, instead of having her just be obliterated or sent off into who knows what and totally translocated, in some way. And so while you're basically kind of hanging on to that is when I want to know, how does Calvin interact with Chin Lao? I mean, Chin Lao manifests and wants what it wants, and is you actually can see that it is it's holding in one of its many pairs of hands. It's holding a statuette that's, even though it's just a symbolic representation, it's such a good symbolic representation that instantly that it's your brother.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so, and he's already got that one, if you want to look at it that way. And so, he's coming at you, and we will move into more activity, except that you get that full victory. It's a minor victory, but it's a real one.
Okay, though. So, are we moving into that scene now, or
no? You tell. I need to know what the victory is. In other words, what really was the goal of this? The goal was to find out what's the connection between Diamonds and Chin Lao.
I see.
And if I'm not mistaken, I mean, that seemed to be kind of what you were driving at with all this. And the answer is that she is connected to it, and that it is sort of capitalizing on the metaphysical opportunity to manifest in ways that it could not otherwise manifest.
Okay. If I remember correctly, what happened in the first session was that Angel's character, Demetrius, was in the process of
collapsing a star, I believe.
Retrieving the power. Retrieving his power.
And then the process went awry.
Yeah, and somehow the energy of the star got merged, or...
Well, Diamonds basically sort of started taking away the energy of the star.
Yeah. She took away some of my power as well.
Okay, then we're going to say that Chin Lao was the conduit or connection between these two events. He's who in your work and used it to channel away enough energy that he could kickstart the process of creating a new uber-human species on Earth.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, all right. Now, since you have the minor victory, I think that we're sort of implicit in all of this was that you just wanted to get information instead of, for example, triggering the apocalypse or something.
Yes.
So, therefore, the minor victory lets us know you can cut it off when you want, is basically what I'm saying.
Okay. Right. So I know what Chin Lao's involvement here was, and I have a pretty good read on, well, maybe where isn't the right word, because he's a sort of extra-dimensional entity.
Right.
I can get a bead on his location now.
Absolutely, not a problem.
Right.
Cool.
Okay. I'm happy with that.
Excellent. Now, we haven't really put Alex, technically, this is kind of interesting. You deal yourself into a scene, and then whatever the conflicts are is whatever they are. But Alex, you have the full privilege to keep saying what you do until such a time as we hit you with a specific contest. Remember, unless this happens, you're not getting any more hero points, so you might as well, push yourself to do something. We can continue because Alex has not really had a chance to do anything and be in a contest of his own. And technically, this is all still kind of his... he has the right, basically, to keep the scene rolling. Even if we do things with other contests for other people, Alex, you're the one who gets to say, okay, we're done. I never got a contest. That's fine by me. Or to do a contest out of this in some way that is important to you.
I mean, there's things I'd probably follow up on, but I mean, nothing right now.
Doesn't matter. You have also the ability to shift the time, say a week later or that night or anything you want.
Okay, let's carry on the scene then. I say to Kelvin, so that's the extra dimensional dragon thing we have to destroy. Where do we go?
I should probably narrate what Diamonds looks like at the end of the contest, right? I mean, when she, pops back, and right, and so when she comes back, she's like crackling with like static charge, and says, "He can't have it. You are all my children now, and he shall not. I must grow. I have to learn how." And she looks at Calvin and looks at Zebediah and says, "Now I learn." She says, and like there's this like ritual voice she's using. She's not speaking like Diamonds. She says, "Tell me now." It's like an order. Tell me now.
Tell you what, Diamonds.
How to stop it. How to destroy it. How to take that power for my own, for my children.
Diamonds, you might have been possessed by some kind of god thing.
Are you sure it's not the other way around?
Okay, yeah, Kelvin, how do we get the power?
The question is for that.
I guess I'm just saying, Alex, it's kind of up to you to close things out for this scene or to keep doing something until you actually do something.
Okay, now how about we wait until it's nighttime then, so we'll cut to us out in the stars.
All right.
So I'm sitting there smoking, looking up, and wait for Kelvin to kind of point out where it is.
All right, roll up on the rooftop on top of the bar, and the glare of the city lights is all around us, and you can't see a thing if you look directly up. So, a small force field around us, and the top of the city lights start to get a little dimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Cluster of 7 stars that you can make out with the naked eye, about halfway up the northern hemisphere. And I say those are the Pleiades, also known as the Seven Sisters. Stars are born. And at the heart of that cluster, there is a neutron star that was once the parent of them all. And we are going to go there now. Now, if I recall correctly, Zebediah does have a travel through time and space ability.
I have fly through space as an ability.
Fly through space ability.
I guess.
You would care to do the honors then?
Well, if you're going to use fly through space, now, Morgan, now it's your chance to basically you can make life hard for him through any other ability on his own sheet, or you can take some event from the previous scene, which was long ago, and make it hard for him based on that. Or you can just say, you know what, it's no big deal, I'm not going to make it hard for you, and then he'll just roll against a basic difficulty.
Well, ideally what I'd like to do is take the result of the previous scene and give him a little bit of a bonus.
Well, yeah, but your job is to make it hard right now. You're as a player, you're slightly antagonistic to Zebediah at the moment.
So you're saying that I'm playing the role GM, or
you are. When it comes to the contest, it's still your job. This whole scene, enjoyable as it's been, you still kind of haven't done your job, if you see what I mean. Only because it's been all this time since Alex has actually done something. So now that he's done something, now you say, oh, okay, how this is what is going to be hard about it.
Oh, I see. Okay, so well, I don't think Calvin himself is going to be trying to actively interfere in this.
No, of course not. This is a very GM-y thing on your part.
Right, and let me just take a glimpse at the character sheet again. Your complicated abilities are presence.
Yep. Penetrate time. Rewind wounds. Although I think we've said that we can use any ability.
You can use any ability if you want. It's just that the ones that are problematized are often very handy for it.
Some of my other abilities are very problematic as well. So
right. Yeah.
You have Pursued by Orn, a time creature from your past.
Oh, yes. Well, there you go. You're going to go flying off through space, I mean, perfect. Okay. So that's what we're rolling against. Okay, what does that thing look like, Alex? Or do I have to make this one up too?
No, I am. What Orn looks like.
Yeah.
No, Ron, you can make that.
See, this is it. All right. Well, that's no problem because what we have here are. Oh, creature from your past. Oh, that's cool. Yes, this is the creature that you would have become if you had not become who you are. So this is the creature who actually looks just like you in an ordinary, clerkly London bank teller, kind of look. Only that behind, with every move, horrifying vibrations of like an after effect of every movement, right? And so when he comes at you in a very predatory way, the way he strides, when he sees you, when you mess with time, he's, he senses it, and now he's coming after you in this kind of terrifying stride that leaves vibrations of distorted time in his wake.
Orn scares me.
From his past, and I'm like, ooh, perfect. The past he did not want.
How I amp things up, I think, so I tear my head off and it fades into blue dust. I place the head of the Time Warrior on me and power through space with everybody away from Orn as fast as possible.
Okay.
Wow, so you're going to use the head of Eternus to escape from Orn. Okay. I'm calling it right then. Okay. Turnabout's fair play. Morgan, do you want to help him in any way? Is there a thing you can do? Maybe keep on track? Because I figure all of this, like, darting around is going to get you not close to the neutron star without your help, right?
Yeah, most likely. I used my Doorkeeper super ability to try and keep us on track. Try and, what was the word? Triangulate our position, let's say.
The Doorkeeper ability. I want to know what that looks like in a minute, but okay. So go ahead and you do your help. We're going to do the helping roll first. So roll that ability.
Okay. That's a 2.
Ooh.
Which is less than 13, so it's just a standard.
That's right. And so I got a standard success as well, so he's going to get a +1.
Okay, then.
Right. So, Alex, you got a +1 on your head of Eternus, right?
Yeah.
And what's the what's the hunted by Orin value?
That's 18.
Oh, awesome. This is great. Your whole sheets are just minefields of problems for me to play. So, Ready?
So am I rolling Pursued by Orm? Or am I rolling...
No, I rolled that. Did
so
I
I'm
ever?
rolling Fly Through Space.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
wait,
Or Head of a, you were using Head of Eternus. So,
Yeah, so I'm
yeah.
going to use... one sec. Yes, here it is. Penetrate Time. So I'm just trying to get away.
Right.
Which is actually a problem ability as well, because it's limited to a few hundred years unless fleeing.
Well, you were fleeing, so that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so go for it.
I get 17, so that's a success on 17.
Excellent. Now, just to double check, that's a cosmic ability or a super ability?
That's a cosmic ability.
And you're
Actually,
up against...
I've got... Yeah, go on.
And the one I'm using, the Pursued one, is that super or cosmic?
That's cosmic.
Okay, so it's cosmic on cosmic, no problem. So what did you get?
Success.
I fumbled.
Oh, wow. So...
Major victory, I think, right? Yeah?
Yes, major victory, yep.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. What does it look like?
I do the thing with the head, and I just go far into the future. Let's just leave it all behind.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Open up my hands, like we see the stars, like actually change and shift.
Mm-hmm.
The environment just completely changed around me. I don't know how far in the future I'm going. I'm just going there.
Right. Yeah. And Diamonds is into this. She's going, she's saying, at last. And then you're going to be able to now. What's the doorkeeping look like? Because this is the only way you stay on track. You're going to end up at the neutron star just as desired, but Calvin's the only one who actually makes that work. So,
okay. A series of it looks almost like a kaleidoscope because we've got this series of geometric patterns that emerge from the focal point of my hand.
your character is just so totally fractal. Everything you do. You notice that? Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. So like a series of spinning octagons that arrive at see a different field of stars, because these are actually different points in the galaxy. And then they coalesce and align and the star fields unify. And you can see at the heart of it a single pulsing point of light.
And you go there. Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, I think we've done what we've done. Alex, we're good?
Yep.
Okay. Well, now it's your job to ask Ahil, what are you doing?
What are you doing, Ahil?
You have traveled to the neutron star. I cannot resist doing this. So we see the surface of this blue bright star just in space, and all of a sudden it starts like throbbing, like there's like a beat, like a heartbeat. The whole star like beats, and it starts to kind of expand, and as it expands, it starts to it becomes less and less kind of stable, and at the center of it, just seeing this figure, the energy of the star with two hands, and yeah, what I've been doing here, what I was meant to do to begin with.
Excellent.
Like,
what ability are you
consume
using?
the power of the star.
Right. What ability are you using for that?
So it could either be being of pure energy, because I'm absorbing the energy of the star, or wielding of the spark of the creation, but I'm not doing anything like too creative with it. So
Yeah.
being of pure energy.
Okay. Now, that ability may or may not be important. It's just useful to know what ability your character is kind of doing, right?
Sure.
So Alex, your job is either to make his life incredibly difficult based on something that just happened in your scene, or to find something on his sheet that all by itself can make his life difficult. Either one.
So either one of my abilities or one of his abilities.
If you want to do that, yes. But just don't
Because
worry
this-
about that right at the moment. Just think about whether you want your scene to impact his scene, or whether you just want this to be a full cut.
So you said, you said we've appeared there, right? You're in one of the stars that we've kind of gone to.
Well, not necessarily. It's just he's doing this to a star
think-
somewhere, right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to bring it into me, it could be that star.
exactly. That's your choice, Alex, not his.
No.
He's
Yeah,
he's
I
just
want us
saying what he's
together.
doing, and you
I want us
say,
together.
okay, then you say, and that's where we're going. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're there, we appear,
Mhm.
and the thing being is presumably Chin Lao has got us, he's not going to stand for this. We're trying to mess with his plans.
Mm-hmm.
So Chin Lao's presumably got something going on that's going to screw us all over.
So what ability are you going to use that interferes with his activity? So what you're doing is picking something to target of his with something else.
So-
Sorry, Alex?
This is the ability that I'm targeting of his.
Mm-hmm.
The
Which could be the one he announced, but it doesn't have to be.
it probably would be, I guess,
Okay.
being of pure energy.
Good enough. It's sort of the default is to take whatever ability is being used and attack that, but you don't, it depends on how things are going and all the other elements that are in play. It's just there to be done if you want. So, that's what's being targeted. Now, what ability is attacking that?
Well, that's interesting because it's Chin Lao that's doing the attacking, and that would be on a different. It's not on my sheet.
It doesn't have to be on your sheet. It just has to be something, ability that's relevant to the last scenes.
So that would be on Morgan's sheet. So that would be probably Child of Chin Lao.
Okay. And so what you're saying is that Chin Lao is there is going to be basically attacking him. When you guys get there, he's going to be attacked by Chin Lao. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You just kind of... Nobody lets you
They-
eat.
they-
You notice that? No one lets
I'm
Angel
just
eat.
trying to have a meal here.
Excellent.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my beam of pure energy is 2W, which
Mm-hmm.
means that I need to get. That's the thing I always forget.
Right. All you have to do is roll,
Well, yeah.
and then you see whether you have a 2 or less,
Oh, okay, yeah.
or whether you have higher. Whatever result you get, just bump it up by 1 because there's a W there.
By one, you mean by one?
By one level. Right, exactly. Yeah. So you've got a free level of success or of result because there's a W.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see.
And now, what's the Child of Chin Lao again? Don't have it in my head.
That's a 2W, I think.
2W. Okay. Ready?
Yeah, I already did.
Okay. I have rolled. And so I end up with my W, I end up with an ordinary success.
I got a 2. So I
Aha.
go from an ordinary success
To a critical.
Critical? Oh,
Right,
nice.
right.
That sounds nice.
Mhm. Yeah.
What are your abilities kinds? Like mine is cosmic.
Right, true, good point. And so Child of Chin Lao, what is that?
That's also cosmic.
Okay, so cosmic on cosmic. No benefit. Yeah. So so what's the table say for an attack with a success hitting a critical?
Yeah, minor victory.
Right, minor victory for you
Hmm.
because you see it's shaded. That the shade goes to the defender. So
Okay.
yeah. And that's good too because you never have to talk about what a minor defeat means. The rules are just set in terms of victory.
Oh, okay.
So I think They were kind of trying to like say, okay, somebody's always winning. What do they get? Right. The way to do this then is to say, what is a minor victory for you in terms of what you can do to this star, what you were trying to do. And you're going to get a +3 to that defending ability. Child of Chin Lao is going to get a -3.
How much of a difference will it be if I move it to? Can I move it to a next level thing?
No, 'cause that's the trouble. But what you can do is bump him down with a hero point.
That will move it to a critical major victory, right?
Right. Critical over a defeat is a major victory, right? Yeah.
That's +6. Which
Or
is
failure. Yeah.
nice.
So now it's a major victory. So that's -6. Or is it, check the table, is it -9 or what does it say?
Major victory is plus or -6.
Okay, so -6 to, and then in the case of which it was 2 W's, so that would put it at a 16 now. Right.
Yep.
Also, your psychology, you had got a major victory as well, or minor victory, correct?
Minor victory, yeah.
Yeah. So what you need to do is to put a +3 on that right now.
Okay.
And I believe, well, okay, we'll leave it at that. I probably might have missed penalizing the Child of Chin Lao earlier, but whatever. GM bonus. So, therefore, I'm going to say that you succeed in siphoning off the star's energy after all, in a blaze that basically repels Chin Lao. Right.
Yeah, I mean, he may. Yeah.
So when you guys arrive, you basically see him locked in combat with Chin Lao.
Okay.
I mean, I guess technically I could have made it all one great big conflict with all of you in it, but I got excited. Yeah. But you guys, but I'm going to say, I mean, since Alex, you were saying this is, you guys impacting him, you put him in the same spot you were going. Clearly your characters arrive during or at the end of this process. So I'm going to ask everybody what they do. Basically, Diamonds is going to, she's going to basically say, kill it.
Well, I'm bent double with pain and clutching at my chest for starters, because that stung.
Right.
I do have the Chin Lao. And then I look somewhat angrily at Zebediah and ask, what on earth were you doing that you almost wound up so badly off course? We could have been split apart into our atoms.
We just needed to get away, trust me.
I hope you have a more cogent plan for dealing with the situation now.
I'm going to help.
Do you have anything that can be used to contain stellar energies?
I do.
Right. Yeah. Demetrius, you might recognize all of this. And,
oh yeah,
and even
I can feel the energy.
Of Diamonds in particular, who currently looks like a star maiden space goddess.
Yeah,
she isn't looking a lot like she ain't wearing her jeans. Okay. Just saying.
Yeah, I recognize her energy signature.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I materialize like next to you and I say, I could take care of that.
Diamonds points at you and says, "You are not one of my children."
No, I'm not. In fact, big brother, maybe.
She says, "Your what would be the word she would use?" Bring your being to this task to save the Earth from Qin Lao. To eradicate Qin Lao and all that he has done and is.
Yeah, that sounds okay. Yeah,
yeah,
we can do that.
Might sort of mean something to Calvin. She's going to eliminate Qin Lao and his impact on existence from existence, which kind of means you too. So
Yeah, the main thing is like,
Right.
writing history. Yeah, sure, why not?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's get to this.
Right. You know, yeah, death. I mean, kill it. No. That's for silly people. You know.
I mean, you have to do the job right.
That's right. Okay, so at the moment we've got you, kind of. Now this is kind of interesting since you've had your contest. You could close it off right now and just shift to you picking on Morgan,
Mhm.
which actually kind of makes sense now that I think about it.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so what are you doing? I guess.
Yes. So you say exactly. Yeah.
All right. I hold my hand up somewhat feebly and tell Diamonds, wait. You don't know what you're doing. And Qin Lao is inextricably linked with the fabric of space-time. You cannot destroy him without destroying the universe as we know it.
She says, "As I know it is better. Ask Zebediah."
I smirk a little and say, though, I've come to appreciate this universe. It has its charms. Maybe we should not rush into this.
Well, you know what, Diamonds?
Oh, come on, Angel. Help me out here.
I mean, Angel,
The
sure,
two of you could like merge into Star God and Goddess and like be awesome.
I mean, sure.
You don't overlook the opportunities we work here.
Sadly, I do have an appreciation from the Earth of the universe, and I have some things left to do. So maybe it's another day. So yeah, I think I'm going to appeal to I guess. What is Azimuth trying to do?
Azimuth, yeah. Now I've finally learned how to say it right, so I'm going to say it as much as I can.
Azimuth says that our task here has to be to contain Qin Lao. The neutron star was the gate that he used to enter our universe and exert his influence. If we can drive him back inside and then erect a barrier around it, we can sever his connection to the material world.
Yes, and that will last forever and be no problem at all, says the GM.
Oh, yeah.
Diamonds. You can remake the universe.
Soon, she says, soon, with the power that I'm gathering, as the universe recognizes me, I become more myself.
It sounds good. All we need to do is destroy Qin Lao, yeah?
Yes, and she says yes, and first is to the first is to eliminate this threat. And she says she holds out her hand to you. Aha.
To me.
Oh yeah. No, she's holding out her hands to you. She wants your help.
Oh, I take it.
All right. Okay, so we have Diamonds we have Zebediah attempting to destroy Qin Lao with whatever ability makes sense.
Okay.
And then apparently we have the two of you attempting to stop him in the sense of, your aim is to contain without destroying.
That's it. Yeah. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and Alex, I'm going to roll for diamond. You go ahead and roll for diamonds as a helping roll, okay?
Okay.
So you roll 8 mastery.
I get a success.
Okay. So you rolled over 8.
Yeah, I got 14.
Okay. So I rolled a success as well. So you just get a +1. Too bad. You can get really high with that. You roll a critical, I get a fumble. You get like +4 or something like that. But whatever. Okay. So you've got yourself a +1 on whatever ability it is that you're using for this.
I think I'll be using my main ability, Head of Eternus. He's a time warrior. I think he goes back as far as need be. If it takes many universes, that's what it takes.
All right.
To snuff it out at the root, stop it before it happens.
Wow, so you're like reaching through all the history of Qin Lao all the way back, unraveling it. Right. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of visual. We're going to see like slices of these massive reality shifts in the universe, all the cycles of its existence, like going spiraling back, and basically you're blasting Qin Lao out of it at each step. Excellent.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm also saying that Diamonds is sort of taking point on this, kind of like the figurehead, with arms back, back arched, right? And blazing this energy down to demolish it as the head of Eternus opens the windows into the past universes as this is happening, because that's really kind of cool. All right, so arm yourself with your dice. What abilities are being used to defend?
Mm-hmm. I say to Azimuth.
Yes.
Azimuth.
Azimuth. I say, friend, it seems it comes to us to do this in a more reasonable way.
What does your character look like? What does Demetrius look like?
Demetrius right now, in his cosmic form, he looks like he appears in humanoid form, constantly glowing with an array of ever-changing colors.
Mm-hmm.
He's flowing with the energy winds that come through him. So his body is just a reflection of whatever energies and lights are going around. But he has a very agreeable face. He's like a very down to earth guy.
That's kind of funny because the Silurian looks like the most perfectly average, friendly looking human. Okay. Until he drops it and his squid-like Silurian face appears. So we learned this last time. So okay, so this is going on. Are you kind of looking more like dream form or looking more cosmic, I would imagine, too, for Calvin? I imagine ever since we got into space, Calvin looks a little different.
I'm going to go with the granite giant form.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
But what I'm actually going to use to attack Zebediah is Psychologist again.
Yeah, I think I was going to say that I can take care of the physical, metaphysical part of this. What's his name? I think
Qin Lao.
Qin Lao. Yeah, that guy. Demetrius also has promised to remember it. He's not that important. Qin Lao. But the mental part, I think that I need your help with that.
Okay, then.
Okay, psychology going on, and then you're going to make your own roll. And I guess it's up to you. Do you want to be helping him, or do you want to be making your own roll?
I think since there's an advantage if I use personal against cosmic, I
Right.
suggest that we use Psychologist as the primary conflict and get some help from another super or cosmic ability.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So what are you going to use, Angel?
I mean, in this case, the spark of creation to create a prison
Right.
for his
Right.
body.
Got it. Okay. So therefore, Spark of Creation is cosmic, right? So just go ahead and roll it, and I'll roll for the helping.
Okay. Let's see. Am I doing this right? Oh, there's this. Fuck.
'What's the value for it?
13. The
Okay.
result is 13. And on a spark of creation, I have. I think it was more.
7W. If you roll 13, that'll be an ordinary success.
Well, yeah, but we don't know. We don't know what his value is on Spark of Creation. Is what I'm trying to find out.
7W right now.
7W. Oh, okay. Well, you rolled a 13, so that's an
Yeah.
ordinary success, right? Okay, so good. I didn't hear the value of it. So that is going to be a +2 to. Wait, ordinary success. Yeah, that's a minor victory. So that's a margin. Doesn't say on my little handout what helping does, right?
I'd have to double check.
Okay, but anyway, so let's just go with a +2. Should be more than that. Make it a +3. I think it goes up like 1, 3, 5 or something like that. Helping is supposed to be good. It's not just little. But
Okay.
so you have your psychology, which is pretty strong, I believe, right? So go for it.
Well, it's okay. I say to Zebediah, if you go through with this, no one will remember what you did.
Ooh, brutal. Brutal. Okay.
There will be no cosmos, there will be no life, there will be no minds to appreciate your genius.
Yeah, no albums.
You will never sign another record deal.
That's right. That's great. Space and time will be completely remade. Everything we know will be gone. Oh, and you won't have any more records. Wait, what? So, is everybody with me?
Yep.
Okay. Good. Let's see that roll, because you've got your +3, and I'm rolling Head of Eternus, which is what again? Sorry.
17.
17. I'm ready. You ready, Morgan?
Okay. Here we go. That's a 4. So yeah, I have an effective 9W at the moment, so that's
A critical.
a success.
Yeah. Wait, say that. No, it's not. You rolled a 4 and a 9W. That's a critical.
Yeah, that's a critical success.
Well, sorry. Let's just call it a critical.
Oh yeah. Well,
Right.
it's a critical result, and then it turns into a success or failure after you compare it with the other guy's result. Right?
Okay. The terminology is actually fairly precise, but let's review it later.
Yeah.
So just
Okay, sorry.
we call it a critical, and I got a success. So therefore, critical on a success is a marginal victory. Now you got a hero point
Okay.
for your for the fact that you were putting personal against cosmic.
Yes.
So right now you've only got a marginal victory.
And I think
A minor victory.
No, a minor. Right. Okay. Right.
minor victory.
Right. Yes, you're right. Sorry. So you want a major one?
I think I will. I think I will go for the major victory.
Excellent. Okay. So the major victory is fantastic. I mean, basically, the effectively you're going to kind of accept. I'm going. You help me out here, Alex. But it seems to me as though you'll hold Diamonds back to kind of keep her activities, rational, and contain Shin Lao, perhaps in one of those past universes or something, as opposed to eradicating it completely from existence, which would basically change so much about the universe that it would be a completely different place now.
I say, Diamonds, we can't just throw the dice. If we're going to change things, we have to be sure what's happening. This is too much.
And she says, "Did he?" She looks at you and says, "I would lose you. I would lose you if I do this. I lose you too."
Yes.
And this shows that she stops. She's like, "Okay, all right," and suffices to banish him. So that's going to give. God, am I right about this? Major victory +6 to +6 to if I'm using the rules right the way that I want to, that gives you a +6 to psychology.
Okay.
And then that, and I'm actually beginning to be, and what's kind of interesting in this game is that these are supposed to be temporary. I'm actually kind of enjoying using them as permanent.
Yeah.
You know, and so then the Child of Chin Lao is going to drop further down to by 6 more. So it's basically becoming a diminished part of the story. I'm kind of wondering whether that's what I want to do. That actually doesn't represent damage to you. So, but it does mean that your ability to use Child of Chin Lao in some self-helping way is diminished because it's been reduced in power. So I should point out, look out for this happening to your keyword. Head of Eternus is a keyword, right, Alex?
Yep, it is, yep.
Right, if that thing takes damage, then if that thing takes damage, then it's going to, or rather gets really knocked down, it's going to hurt. And actually it does, because you're the one who's going to take -6.
Yep.
No. Child of Chin Lao isn't going to take damage. It wasn't being targeted. Okay. That's right, it's fine. It's Head of Eternus that's going to take damage.
Yes.
Right, so that's -6 to the Head of Eternus, which is painful. Yeah, you had to rein it in, and so its energies get distorted. It doesn't drop the abilities underneath it. It's all by itself. Yeah. But
because I think it was getting going, wasn't it? And I'm kind of
right.
I have to use my willpower
That's
to
right.
forcing it back.
That's right. And so it's exactly. So you've kind of like weakened your whole relationship to this thing. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I kind of like the idea of you wrenching it off your face.
Yes.
You know. Yeah. Exactly. Which is sort of like, when Diamonds is talking to you, she like speaks through the Head of Eternus to Zebediah. Right, and he's in there somewhere. So cool. All right. Well, guys, this is how are we doing? This is actually when I'm finally, you guys getting the idea now of how the routine would go. Now it's Morgan who would say, "Aha, time to pick on Alex," and so then you hop to Alex and say, "What are you doing?" And again, what I want to do, and looking at the last sessions, this is important. Gordon in particular was very, very invested in continuity. What happened, and I have to develop what happened, and if I do that, then where could it go? And I got to think about that, right? And that's what I keep saying. Let's just forget all that. So if Morgan turns to Alex and says, "What are you doing?" Alex can say, 2 years from now, after my album's gone platinum, I'm vacationing in Madagascar. See what I mean? You can go, when he says, "What are you doing?" Do whatever, right?
And then you could look at the album cover, and it's a very trippy rendition of the whole affair. Okay.
Right. But the point is that the person who's asked, "What are you doing?" is wonderfully free, because if anybody's responsible for introducing continuity here, it's the person who's asking you. They can decide. So you can either help by being very continuous, you want to stay right in this, or if you don't feel like it, you just go ahead and make a humongous cut. So yeah. But guys, thank you. I think this is when it's finally starting to, you guys can see how this is rolling. What I don't know is there an end game? What does the GM guy
Yeah.
do in terms of saying, okay, this is it, or this is the last scene, or something like that. It's kind of fun to be this GM guy because really my main role is just logistic. All I'm doing is just keeping everything straight and say, okay, it's your turn, and then playing NPCs and doing what I think they'll do. But it's really actually pretty easy in comparison. I don't have to do any of the scene management. So, apropos of our discussion that we had on Hill about this on Monday, this is actually, we're talking about distribution of GM tasks, and one of the primary things for a GM is like, doing the scenes, and that's the one thing that the big GM in this game doesn't do. So, I've kicked it to a combination of two other players as to where and when and how much continuity is involved.
Yeah, and you separate the the theme from the challenge.
That's right.
Yeah, the kind of the
segue, right? Well,
I was thinking about the principle, like don't create your own.
That's right. Oh, so yeah, like the Sega principle. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
I do think we kind of left Ken hanging there a bit, so I would be interested in revisiting that at some point.
Left who hanging there? Okay. Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, obviously, the next thing to do is when someone asks you what you're doing, you would talk about it. And also, remember, anything that's happened is fair game. Any one of these other players can say something about when asked what they're doing, they can say, I'm talking to Ken, and you would say, what the hell do you have to do with Ken? And you'd say, ha, shows what you know, So, which is perfectly fine. So this is fun. I mean, looking at everybody's sheet, there's, like I said, every sheet is this minefield of stuff, and the contests are like going to make them all go up and down and up and down and up and down all over the place. So we don't have to worry so much about hero points for improvement. We're improving mainly by winning things.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Thank you. All right, guys. I will see you later.
See you.
Yep. Take care.
Yes.
Good night.
Prosper.